Hi, I'm Walter.
And I'm David. So we'll start. Hold on, we'll start again. You do it. No, you
It's good if it's a bit of crazy spontaneity.
No, you do it. Go.
Let them see what we're really like. Oh my God, Hi, I'm Walter,
And I'm David.
and thank you, Keith, for having us on your amazing program.
Everyone, welcome to KeithAndrewNetWork Worldwide Show. I'm your MC Vital Rose. Today we have a great show lined up for you. Please enjoy and make sure like, share, comment, and yes, subscribe. Now everyone, please give a round of applause for your host, the Rocket, Keith Andrew.
I want to give a big shout out to my virtual assistant, Vidal Rose. Thank you for that. So the first question I'm going to ask both of you is tell our audience a little bit about yourselves and how you came to do what you do now.
You can speak first.
We've played in the band together for probably around 10 or 12 years. We are family members, which is kind of how we came together to do the music. We've both played music for a really, really long time in different forms, in school orchestras and other guises. Both been to university, but have really enjoyed playing our music together, and that's kind of how we came together to do it.
Yeah, and I can echo what David's just said. I played in school orchestras, and I suppose you've got cadet bands in the States as well. So yeah, I doubled up in a cadet band for 6 years. Yeah, and then I played with a guy at uni. I wrote songs, he played the guitar, I did some singing. Then that went by the wayside, and I continued on an academic career and just rewrote other people's songs for family birthdays, wedding celebrations, whatever, and just replaced the names. Hey, dear Mary, don't make it bad. Something like that instead of, Hey Jude. Yeah, but when I decided to leave uni, I decided to go back to studying music, and that's what I've been doing for a while now, and on keyboard and guitar. And eventually somebody contacted me about writing some songs for a publishing house because they heard I was doing music again. I've done that, and the band for me evolved out of being invited to perform in a covers band, a Brit rock covers band. And from that, yeah, I continued writing original music, and then David joined, and yeah, we've just been building the band and learning the ropes of how tough it is out there on the road.
It's funny. It's okay for me to say it because I'm jealous. When I think of the song "Hey Jude," if you don't know what he's saying, but you hear it so fast, it's like "Hey Jew."
Yeah. I think I read something. Was that song about John Lennon? Jude is supposed to be John Lennon.
To be honest, I know it's a Beatles, but I'm not much of a Beatles person.
Yeah. Anyway,
it sounds funny though.
Yeah, of course. So, who do you like?
There's a lot of great bands that I like. The first band I ever listened to was Rush. I listened to Tom Sawyer, Spirit of the Radio, Force 10. Then I got into Iron Maiden. I got into Nightwish. There's Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. There's just so many great ones out there. And it's funny because the old music sort of, in a way, the old music, it is better than what we have today. And there are some songs today are really good, and there's some that are really crappy.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more crappiness than goodness out there in music these days. I think it's too manipulated by the industry, you know, and with those pseudo reality shows like The Voice or America or Australia's Got Talent, they pick and choose the kind of image, first of all, that they want, and then the music follows, and they weed out anybody who's really original or quirky or different. So I don't think that Bob Dylan or Simon and Garfunkel would have got very far these days, because the doors are more shut than open, you know?
It's true. Now, the next question I want to ask you, right off the bat, besides me, obviously, have you guys worked with people with disabilities, and are you willing to work with people with disabilities?
Well, you know what? I suffer from dyslexia, which I only discovered later on in life. And it's expressed as a problem with my eyes. So I can't stand strong lights. Things like strobe lighting makes me want to vomit. But also something that I used to experience all the time at school was that when I was reading, and I love reading, suddenly the words would move like dolphins in the water. And I could not understand what it was for many years. And it's only when I went to an ophthalmologist about 10 years ago for some eye tests, and he talked me through this problem. He said, yes, well, you've got dyslexia, which manifests as this problem with light and also with reading. Your eyes get tired very quickly, and then the words and the lines do very strange things. So I'm a slightly disabled person in that regard, like that. But yeah, when I was at university, I certainly had people who had dyslexia and people who had other disabilities, as well as physical and, say, mental disabilities. But it's great, because as you get challenged, especially when you're trying to communicate with people and you have to find different forms of communication, you're always learning and evolving more as a human being. So it adds to you. It doesn't make things more difficult. It's more liberating in a way.
No, absolutely. What about you?
Yeah, look, in my life away from music as a mental health clinician, I've done and do a fair bit of work with people who have varying disabilities, whether they be physical or psychological. And it's always been really, really enjoyable work. We've had some band members previously who have had some disabilities to varying degrees. And it's been really enjoyable to play with them. So it's been fun to do in the past, and no issues continuing to do it in the future, really.
No, absolutely. Going back to the music, both of you were in the education field. So what made you make the transition? Because you were also a psychologist. So did you just had enough of hearing people's problems?
No, look, they're a nice little adjunct that sit next to one another. They both have some kind of creativity in their makeup, and they're really enjoyable. And it's kind of trying to find your way through problems. And sometimes a song is a way to express a problem, and sometimes writing a song can be a challenge and a problem. And so you get to work your way through it. So there are some real similarities between the two, for me anyway.
What about you? You're in the education as well. What made you make the transition?
You know what? It wasn't so much a transition for me, because I always did what people would call arty things. Like, I always had musical instruments available to me. So I enjoyed playing. Apparently, when I was 3 years old, I fiddled with a violin, fiddled with a fiddle. Then my dad wanted me to play the piano accordion, but I did not like the piano accordion. All it seemed to be missing was a monkey. It was a kind of clown instrument to me, and it was way too big to carry around. But eventually, when I was about 9, I was desperate for a guitar. So he bought me a 3/4 acoustic guitar, which I still have. And then I got into piano. And as I was saying earlier, playing in orchestras through school. For me, music was a fifth dimension to go into. So I was transported from issues that I had when I entered the world of music. And since then, I found that when you play, you communicate with people instantaneously. The words sort of matter and they don't matter, but the music is crucial. and it's great when you see an audience sort of, you know, touching their chest as if, and they're saying, "I'm feeling it, man, I'm feeling it," you know, and there's a smile on their face, and you go, "Yeah, music is healing," you know. It's the connection, the bridge to other people that otherwise you don't have much in common with, but suddenly you've connected as human beings, and it's like John Lennon's, you know, give peace a chance. You don't have to give it a chance with music. It is peaceful, even when it's exciting, you know, and it induces another state. So I've always done that, and that's what I really only wanted to do. But
Well, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say being at university was fun in some ways, but it was too cerebral as an activity, you know, always thinking, always analyzing things. Whereas I think when you overanalyze, you just miss the point of life. Life is about being in the moment, and you understand anyway straight away what's what. And music is that language that defies analysis. That's why Mozart could write. I mean, he was brilliant, he was a genius, but he could write in a language which connected to everybody without analysing, should this be a crotchet, a quaver, a semi-quaver? Is it 4/4 times 6/2? Just straight away do it. You know, and we can play things, whether we write the music or not is irrelevant. Play things and you look at each other and you say, where the hell did that come from? But everyone smiles or goes, that's shit, man. And you go, yeah, that's right, that is shit. And you change the chord, and then smiles happen again, and it feels good.
No, I agree. You know, there's some, I wouldn't say real music. Its name is Rick Dillinger. Rick Dillinger actually did the Real American, Hulk Hogan's theme song. And when you hear the song, it just pumps you up. You can listen to the orchestrated music from, you know, Survivor, who did Rocky. You know, I have the Tiger, No Easy Way Out, and all of that, and it gets you pumped up. And there's some music like Moby, you just want to cut your wrist because it can make you so depressed. I mean, yeah, it's good, but it's depressed. And rap, don't get me started. You know, I do like a good beat, but to me, rap is crap. But then to reach your own, even though I do like Eminem. But
yeah,
you know, no. Go ahead. What do you think about Eminem?
I personally enjoyed Eminem. I didn't like a lot of the rap that I heard that derived from the original black rappers.
Yeah,
I could understand their attitude, the way they slung words around. You know, the English have this black guy, George the Poet, he's called. He's been on a program called Jules Holland, and I've listened to him with another black guy playing the piano, and he's written George has written the most beautiful sort of street poetry. He tells these amazing stories about life on the streets, and that is fantastic rap played to a beautiful, what sounds like a kind of classical piano. You know, it's just it's a magnificent and original fusion. That is inspiring. Or the first American rappers, they had something raw and aggressive and very confronting, and it was very affecting for people like me to listen to. But subsequently, people who are doing it, especially white guys, I don't get it. You know, apart from Eminem, I quite enjoyed his constructions, musical constructions, arrangements. But you know, we've got a band here called the Hilltop Hoods, and what they do is quite good, but I just don't get it, and I don't like it.
you know, two things I want to say real fast. You know, I was a big fan of Almost Famous, and there's a quote from Almost Famous: "Is rock and roll can save the world."
Yeah, yeah.
And the other one is actually trying to think without hurting myself. There was this, I figure music awards, country music awards or something, MTV awards, and this MC was dancing, and he falls on Eminem. He's like, well, I guess he likes his M&Ms was nuts. But you know, the same thing, you know, it was the rap, and if you can have a good beat and good lyrics, that's what matters. You know, once you talk about bitches and hoes. I'm like, what is this? This is garbage.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yes.
sure.
Well, that's trying to achieve status. I think, if you use those words, it's supposed to have a magical click-on effect for people. Oh, you're saying that, so I know how to move and I know what kind of an attitude to express. No, it's actually sterile. It's lost its power. There's no compulsion, and that's the problem with too many people trying to be. They think artists, but they're just trying to be famous. And any real artist has to do what they're doing, irrespective of whether they're going to be famous or not, because it's a way of living. In a way, I can't tolerate life without art. I just can't bear it. It's as simple as that. So I don't care what other people think about what I'm doing, why I'm not at university, being a professor. It doesn't mean much to me. This does.
I agree. Now, also, I forgot her name, Murray Bab Bussera. I'm really good at Bussera names. Did you guys want to play music? But one thing I will say is I can't play anything copyrighted. If you guys want to make some beats, you're more than welcome to do that. But anything like full-length songs, YouTube will go crazy on that. So I don't want to get my account flagged.
Do you mean during this interview?
Yeah, if you want.
We don't have anything prepared at this moment in time.
We could maybe play something instrumentally. I don't know. Would that help?
Yeah, if you want to, you don't have to. It's just saying.
Do the Extinction Rebellion thing. I've just been playing some finger picking things of late, turning them into songs. And Giovanna. Were you thinking of Giovanna? Yeah. So we sent that to her to see what she could do on keyboard.
I mean, if you guys just want to play some notes, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, while we're waiting, some of the orchestrated music I really love, and one of my favorite cartoons. I may get a tattoo, but I'm not crazy about tattoos.
Yeah.
One of my favorite cartoons is Dragon Ball Z. And I use their music for everything. It's really, not to sound morbid, but if I had to die and do my life over, I would love to be in that universe because I know so much about Dragon Ball.
Yeah, cool.
Back to the beginning. How's the rest go?
That's about it.
No, that sounds really good.
But then it goes to. I'm finished now.
No, that's perfect. I think that's a good way to end the show. I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air, but how can our fans and listeners get in touch with you guys? Are you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram?
Yeah, we're all on the usual social media platforms. You can listen to our stuff on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, and get to us through our website, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you know, a few years ago there was Andre Carter in Boston, this lovely black guy that an ex-drummer of ours put me in contact with, did a piece on us for his online magazine. I think it was called Blind Side. It's a very glossy, beautiful magazine. He doesn't do it anymore. And after the article was published, we had a lot of interest from that side of the States in the music. So not being able to travel is been a real killer, you know, because I think the States, with all its issues, but every country has its issues, is such a dynamic culture, and people embrace real diversity. You know, we're a much more kind of puritanical society here in Australia, and we pretend to be open, but I think that's only got to do with the wide spaces that are available. But in terms of real openness in attitude, often it's not there. And even for artists, people are sort of frowned on, you know, they say, get a real job, man, you know. So I was really excited when that happened. That was what, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'd love to go to the States and play. I've never been to the States. David's been, but
Yeah, absolutely. Now I have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up, I want you to both of you be brutally honest. You know, when usually I approach people to be on the show, but actually you approached me to be on the show. What made you want to be on the show? And after being a guest, how do you feel now, and what do you recommend it to other people?
Oh, look, I think for us, it's just about trying to get as much exposure as we can and kind of be part of as many different communities as we can. So we're always open to trying new things with no expectations and no closed door perspectives. So I'd recommend it to anyone to be part of any kind of community you can connect with and share experiences and share music and thoughts.
yeah, I can only echo the same sentiments. I mean, I'm desperate to connect with people artistically, because I think there's an artist in every human being, ultimately. Even somebody who's in inverted commas in business, the best business people, the ones who have the greatest communication skills, are inventing something that's useful in society, not just the ones who are making money for the sake of making money, but inventing something that people can acquire in some way. They're communicating with others, and art's the best expression of that. So the opportunity to get on with somebody like you is, again, an opportunity to make me live a little bit more along the lines that I want to live. And hopefully it does the same thing for you. Establishing connections. Otherwise, I find life can be very, very solitary, you know.
No, I agree. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air, but wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege to have both of you on the show. I just want to say it was a real honor, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. And until we meet again, I catch you later. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers.